Good morning, guys. Hey there. Welcome to Blello Sundays on another awesome Sunday morning. It is so cool to have you all joining us. I am live right now. That's how we do Blello Sundays. We do it live. Look, when I'm live, I take my headphones off. That's what I can do when I'm live. I can do anything. I can dab and no one can tell me not to do it because it's not cool anymore because I'm live. I'm hanging out with you guys. I'm having fun. It is an awesome morning to be here with you guys. And so how you know that I am live right now, just so that you know that we're honest, we are legit, is we have live chat happening. And so you can sign into there. If you're joining us on the Cool Bananas website, then you can be hanging out with us there. There's also a link to open up chat in a separate device, so you can go and do that. But don't click that button like right now because then you'll lose everything and you'll just be taken to the chat and be looking at that. But if you're on another device, if you've got another device there or something, then you can click on that and then you can join us with chat there. So you can watch us and chat and have it big, and it's really cool. Couple of guidelines to remember. We say this every week when you're on chat, is remember that if you are under 13 to ask your parents' permission first, and even better, get them to comment for you or sit next to you while you're commenting and engaging. And the biggest one is don't give away personal details. Okay, guys, don't give away your email, your phone number, your address, or anything like that. Anything that anyone could locate you or find out where you are, because we like to practice safe internet use. Very cool. And we have Nikki who's hanging out also on the chat there and being really cool and making sure everyone is kept safe. Awesome. Fantastic. So we've got the chats in here. We'll do a couple of shout outs at the moment. Look, we've got Elegans is saying more hey to Elegans, hey to Pixie, Belle's here, Kayla's here, and Hi is here again. Awesome. Hi. It's so cool to have you guys joining us and commenting there. Alright, so because we're talking about commenting, what I want you to do this morning is to be interactive, jump on there and tell us, or tell me, tell the Blello team, have you ever had a big argument? Have you ever had a big, massive, huge argument with someone else? Or maybe yourself. I don't know. Have you ever had a big argument and you don't have to tell us what it was or what happened or anything like that. You can just say, yeah, I've had a big argument, or yes, or thumbs up, or smiley face, or something, a tick, or something like that. And if you haven't, then let us know that as well, because we want to know if you've never had a big argument. But comment and tell us if you've ever had a big argument. And while we're doing that, we know that the team is here. We've got an awesome Blello cast, a Blello team that are hanging out with us this morning. So you're going to be hearing from Stu, you're going to be hearing from Lids, you're going to be hearing from Sarah and Nikki all this morning. Obviously myself, you're hearing from me right now. You don't have to wait to hear from me because I'm right here now. And then also we have Extra Bear. Extra Bear's hanging out with us this morning as well, and what I like to do is I like to go and check in with him and see how Extra Bear is doing on our mornings, on our Sunday mornings. So let's go check in with him. All right, hey Extra Bear, hey. Wait, he's looking a bit strange today. What's going on there? Why is he wobbling like that? Wait, he's put a picture up of him. Is that a picture? He's drawn a picture and he's put it up and he's sleeping. Hey, is he Extra Bear? Wake! Are you sleep? He must have a fan or something that's blowing. I think his plan is foiled. But anyway, Extra Bear, wake up! Extra Bear, we're live. We've got a show, Blello Sundays. You're a part of it. Extra Bear, what are you? He's just sleeping. That's all he's doing. He's just sleeping. Okay, Extra Bear is sleeping. He's put a picture in front of the camera. I don't know what's going on there, but we'll continue on. We will continue on, and we'll see if Extra Bear's up to chatting a bit later on. All right. So I wonder if you have ever had a really big argument, like a really big one. You know, like bigger than that, like a big argument. Yeah, that's a bit better. No, like really, really big argument. Yeah, like that, where it's just everything's just going crazy. Maybe you reacted and maybe you called someone names. Maybe you were being unkind and said unkind things like, hey, your face is not like a face. It's like something that's not a face. That's what your face, unkind things I'm saying to you because I'm in an argument and I'm saying unkind things. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe you had, there were doors that were slammed. Bang, crash, boom, big argument. Or you might have stomped your foot. You might have stomped your foot. Here we go, big stompy foot here. You bang, bang, bang. You might have stomped your feet around and that kind of thing. Or perhaps, even it escalated to the point, where there were some punches thrown. It got laid down. Look, we do not condone this, but sometimes, the reality is some people get to a point where they just don't know how to react and they just start boom, boom, throwing punches, boom, boom, boom. That is not the thing to do at all. Never use violence, but maybe in the past you have, and that's how it's gone. Or perhaps what happened was you reacted by just trying to ignore the conflict. You just kind of ignored it. And you're just sort of like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm just going to ignore it. Maybe you were just silent. Maybe you just didn't say anything and you just became really, really silent. Or perhaps, you ran away. You ran away. You're like, I can't deal with this right now. I can't deal with this. I've got to run away because I don't know what to do. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to do some somersaults while I'm going away as well. And I'm going to run up here and run down there. And you just didn't know what to do. And you basically just hid from the whole thing. You just jumped under your blanket and you just hid and tried to avoid the argument altogether. All right. So, an argument or a disagreement that is, let's get some of these disappearing here. Wait, let's go. Can we do that? Let's get this out. Let's get this out. Go there. There we go. A disagreement or an argument that affects us in a big way, like these two. Rah, that is called a conflict. That is what we have here. We have a conflict. And sometimes we can disagree with someone. We go, oh no, we lost the background. No, please stop doing that. Get back there. Sometimes we can disagree with someone. And then, it's not really, we don't find it a very big deal. And, we kind of get over it quickly. It doesn't really stick with us. We're like, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. I disagree. You disagree. We had an argument, but, and we get over it quickly. It's not really that big of a deal. See, and everyone's happy. Everyone's happy. They shake hands. They're smiling, and that's okay. But other times, we can think about it. It can stick with us, and we can be thinking about it for a long time. We can think about the conflict that we had here, guys. You guys get in the bubble. Get in the bubble over here. You're in the bubble. You're in the think bubble because he's thinking back to when he had a conflict, and you can keep thinking about it, and you can keep feeling it, and it starts to affect how we interact with people, and then it becomes that conflict. That's when it becomes a conflict. That's when it comes back to this word, and that's when it's a conflict, when it makes us and it affects us in a really big way. And conflict is not a nice thing. It's not a very nice thing to be in, especially when it is affecting the relationships around us. All these people, so you're like there, but then everyone else around you can see them. They're like, oh, and this person's like, I'm just conflicted, I'm angry at everyone, and I'm grumpy, and the relationships around you, they're just like, they start to, get a bit messy, and that's not very nice, especially when that happens. So what do we do? What do we do when we're in this type of conflict? Well, I will tell you. The first thing we need to remember is when we are in this conflict is that rather than reacting, wait, where are you? Come here. You're here. There we go. Rather than reacting like this guy, whoa, he's flying around. Look at him. He's just reacting. He doesn't know what he's doing. Rather than reacting like this guy and going, rah, 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 rah. Or maybe that might be how you're just kind of inside feeling. Like you don't necessarily have to do that on the outside. I want to spin you around, please, Mr. Reaction Man. Okay, there we go. Reaction Man. So rather than, reacting like this guy here, it's better. What is better to do? The better thing to do is to respond. There we go. Respond like this person here. This person here is they're responding. They're going to think for a minute. They're going to respond because that's what responding means. Responding means rather than reacting to conflict and just losing your mind or just getting all upset and things like that, you stop. You stop. Stop this. Stop this over here. And what you do is you have a think. Have a think about what you're going to do, how you're going to respond, and how you could resolve the conflict. There we go. Easy peasy. So easy. There we go. That is a great thing to do. Responding rather than reacting to conflict means that you stop and think about what you are going to do. Like these guys here. Excellent. So, conflict. That's our theme this morning, today, this week, whenever you're watching this. That is our theme. Conflict. Whew! But, I know I've had a lot of conflicts in my life. Like I've had... I've had lots of conflicts in my life. I've been here around on this planet for a few years. I've had lots of arguments, lots of fights and things, and I've come across a lot of conflict. But what I asked you guys before in the chat was if you've had an argument. And so what we're going to do, we're going to jump onto our chat. Let's jump over to this camera, jump onto our chat, and have a little check here if anyone's commented and told us if they have had any fights. Well, there's lots of comments going on here. Okay, yeah, we've got hi. Lecrae said yes. I hope that's how you pronounce it. They said yes with my brother. Yeah, siblings. We can have fights with siblings, have big arguments with them. And Kayla said yes. Hi said yes. And Pixie said yes with my brother and my mum and dad. Yeah, and our parents. So we can have arguments and conflicts with our family. We can have conflicts with our friends. I'm glad I'm not just the only one that's had conflict. I'm so glad to see that you guys here have had conflict as well. And if you haven't commented and have a think, you probably have an answer about that. So look, that there are lots of different ways that people react to conflict, and we're going to hear from Sarah. She's going to tell us a few other ways of how people react, different ways that people react to conflict, and let's go see what she has to tell us. All right, let's go.
Hey guys, Sarah here, catching you up with this week's catchphrase. Now, as Kyle was talking about, this week it's all about conflict, and in fact there are ways to react to conflict. Two of them, usually. Neither of them are helpful when it comes to solving conflict, nor are either of them helpful to keeping our friends. I wonder which reaction to conflict you have. One way people react when conflict pops up out of nowhere is to run away, withdraw, and be what is called passive. Someone who is passive will avoid all problems. And they'll say things like, whatever, do what you want. And they'll stay quiet about their feelings and what they really, really want. People who act too passively will often end up feeling like they've been taken advantage of. They'll have feelings of being hurt and angry, and they'll hold on to those feelings, which can affect them in a really big way. Another way people can react when conflict pops up is to charge at it, rage at it, be aggressive and fight with it. Someone who is aggressive when it comes to conflict will usually blame the other people, and they'll say stuff like, if you don't do this with me, then you can't be my friend. They come across as being rude and bossy. People who come across too aggressive find it hard sometimes to keep friends. They're too forceful of their opinion, and so their friends feel disrespected and put off. So which one describes you the best? You don't need to make up your mind right now, but if I was to decide which one I was, I think sometimes I can be passive and sometimes I can be aggressive. Sometimes I'll just say whatever and head to my room, and other times I kind of launch in a bit and can do a bit of blaming and raging and yelling. So if neither of these are the ideal reaction to conflict, there must be a better way. And you know what? There is. Engage without the rage. And that's our catchphrase. You see, what we do is rather than being passive and running away, we engage. But we do it without the rage. Now you might have noticed there was a bit of sign language in there, and there is. This is sign for engage. We take our right hand and we put it into our left hand. Engage. This is not sign language, this is my kind of language, without, because we don't want to do it like this. We want to do it without the rage. Now, rage is kind of like our mind is blowing with anger and it's about to burst because we're so angry and enraged. But we're not going to do that. We're going to go engage without the rage, because we know that that is a really awesome way of responding to conflict. When we get into an argument with someone, rather than running away and pretending there's nothing wrong, or running full speed with aggression and aggro, we need to stay in the moment, engage, keep calm, and share our opinions, share our feelings, carefully using our words. Then we also need to listen to the other person and for their point of view as well. If we can learn to engage without the rage, then this is what happens. Those signs I had before, solving conflict, gets fixed. And helping with keeping friends, that gets fixed too. You see, when we respond rather than react, when we engage without the rage, our conflicts are solved and our friendships are restored. I don't know about you, but I want to practice engage without the rage so that I can be a better person too. See you later, guys. Ka kite.
Excellent work, Sarah. That's really cool. So what was that? I forgot to get you guys up to get you loosened up and get ready for those. So you might have missed it, but let's go. Let's get up and get ready and do it together. You can follow me. So we've got engage without the rage. Awesome. So engage without, and then go boom, without the rage. That's a really cool thing for me to remember next time I'm in conflict or when I'm in an argument, is that I need to engage without the rage. Now, Extra Bear, he usually is here to help me out with this, to help us all out with the actions again. But this morning he was asleep. So we'll go check and see if he's woken up yet or he's ready. But he's still got his picture up, so I don't know what he's doing. But let's go and see if he can help us out with the catchphrase this morning. Extra Bear, are you there? And can you share your? Have you got? No, he's still asleep. Extra Bear, wake up! Wait, what is he? Wait, did he just do the catchphrase while we were sleeping? Maybe he's dreaming about us. Maybe he's dreaming about, let's see, he did engage without rage. He did it. Extra Bear actually is doing the actions to the catchphrase while he's asleep. That's pretty cool. He did it. He did them while he's asleep. He must be dreaming about us or something. Maybe he's tuning in that way in his dreams today. I don't know why he's asleep. Maybe he had a late night or something like that. But anyway, he's funny. But he did it. Engage without the rage. Extra Bear coming in asleep and still delivering. He's pretty cool. So I wonder if you guys can recognize the ways that you might tend to respond to conflict. You know, do you tend to respond aggressively or passively? I know for me, definitely, I tend to lean on the side of the aggressive, and that means like I can tend to be quite strong with my opinions, and I put them out there, and I like to engage with the argument and talk it out, and that. But sometimes I just go too far and I forget to listen to what other people's opinions are and listen to what their ideas are. And so in an argument, I can get caught up in what I'm wanting to say and what I'm wanting to do, that I forget to do that. So I think I tend to lean more on the aggressive side. But hey, what do you think? What do you think for you? Now, maybe you're not too sure. So I think a good time for the game is right now, because this game might help you guys start to identify with some characters and maybe which way you might kind of tend to go when you are in conflict or in an argument. All right, so let's jump back to this camera. So this morning, our game, it's a very simple, it's a very easy game, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a graphic up. And what I did was during the week, I asked the team, the Blello team, to cast their vote on different characters, on different TV show characters and different movie characters and things like that. And then I got them to vote and tell me which one they think is the most aggressive and which one they think is most passive. Now, what I want you to do in this game is you comment in and tell us which you think the team voted for the most. Okay, so I've got a graphic here to bring up. Here we go. So we've got 4 rounds. Well, 4 rounds, but we've got most aggressive round 1, most aggressive round 1, passive round 1, most aggressive round 2, and most passive round 2. So I said to the team, okay, what have we got here? What have we got? Most aggressive. Out of these 3 characters, we've got Beast there in round 1 versus what's her name? Buttercup. It is Buttercup. Buttercup from Powerpuff Girls, and we've got the Grinch from the Grinch movie and the books and all those good things, those good things. So we've got these three characters, and I said to the team, who do you vote is the most aggressive? So what I want you to do, we're going to go through and then you comment in one big comment of all four answers so that it's easy to keep track of. But what do you think the Blello team voted for? Who do you think they thought was the most aggressive? Out of Beast, we've got Buttercup, or the Grinch, okay? All right, and you're going to comment in, but don't comment in yet. I'll give you some time after to comment in. Okay, and over here, there and I had round one, passive. Passive versus passive. Who do you think the Blello team voted for and said was the most passive? We've got Branch from the Trolls movie. We have Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and we have Squidward from SpongeBob. Now these are very passive type characters. They tend to be scared or afraid or let others kind of do stuff, and they sort of tend to hide away. Alright, so then maybe, yeah, which one do you think the Blello team voted as the most passive out of those three? Jumping to round two of the aggressives. Alright, we have Miss Piggy. Hi-ya! Kirby, I'm angry. Is that a Miss Piggy voice? I don't know if I did that well. And then we've got Hulk smash. Hulk is very aggressive. And then we have Anger from the Inside Out movie, who is raging right there. So who do you think the Blello team voted as the most aggressive? That's your guess. You guess which one you think they voted for. And this is the most votes. And then most passive over here. Who do you think the Blello team voted for as the most passive? Okay, we've got Violet from The Incredibles. We have Emmett. Oh, my little buddy Emmett. He's pretty cool. He's from the Lego movie. And we have Gidget from Secret Life of Pets. Alright, so your turn to play the game as you vote in, and which one do you think was the most aggressive in round one that the Blello team voted for, most passive in round one, most aggressive over here in round two, and most passive. Okay, so there should be four names that you guys are typing in there, and let me know which one you think the Blello team voted for. Who was the top of the votes? Now while we're doing that, Extra Bear, have you got, what do you think? What do you think the team guessed? While these guys are guessing and writing in the answers, what do you think? Can you wait? He's still sleeping. Extra Bear, wake up! We want to see him. Well, we can see him. He's cuddling his picture. He still loves that picture. But he's not going to be any help with this game again this morning, guys. He's not helping us out this morning. He is sleeping. He's put up a picture. He's trying to fool us. But we see through your plan. We see through your cunning plan, Extra Bear. We know that is not you. That is not Extra Bear. I was fooled at the beginning of the morning, but I'm not fooled now. I know that is not Extra Bear. And he is sleeping behind that picture that he's pasted up in front of the camera. Anyway, alright, so I asked you guys to tell me your answers. What do you think the Blello team voted for as the most aggressive and passive characters out of that set? So let's go and jump back and we'll find out the answers. Have a look at the comments. What have we got here? We've got lots of comments coming in. Awesome. Let's pick out this one. We've got Sharisa and Olivia. They have said the Grinch. They think the first one is the Grinch here. Okay, they voted Grinch. We've got Angela has said the Beast in round one. Let's jump. Kayla has said the Beast as well. We've got the Grinch, Beast. Everyone's jumping on the Beast and the Grinch here. Okay, let's reveal. Let's have a look and let's find out what the team voted as the best. We've got Lecrae's come in with the Beast again. Let's have a look which one the team voted for. They've gone with Buttercup. Buttercup is the most aggressive. She is definitely very aggressive. So I don't think anyone picked that. That's amazing. Okay, no one picked that one, but that's okay because we've still got 3 other rounds. The Blello team, who knows what they're thinking? Who knows what they're thinking in their minds? But they went with Buttercup. Okay, all right, we've got most passive, round 1. We've got, okay, what have we got here? We've got Shaggy, Branch. Angela voted for Branch, and then we've got Smurf. Sharisa voted for the Smurf. That's cool. So let's go. We've got Shaggy. We've got Squidward. We've got 1 vote for Squidward. Okay, let's go on. Let's see how you guys did. If you were right, okay, what Which one did the Blello team vote for? They went with Shaggy. They went with Shaggy as the most passive character in round 1. Okay, let's speed through now. What have we got now? We've got most aggressive, Miss Piggy, Hulk, or Anger from Inside Out. We have Riley has voted for Anger. He thinks that the team voted for Anger. We've got Hulk, we've got Anger, and we've got Hulk as well. Miss Piggy is not in there. Miss Piggy, I'm sorry, you are nowhere near as aggressive as these guys. So let's have a look what the team voted for. We've got Anger. I think that makes sense. He is pure anger. Like, I don't think you can get more aggressive than pure anger, possibly. Okay, and the last one, we've got Violet versus Emmett versus Gidget. Cool bananas. I mean, the Blello team, who did they vote for? We've got some guesses in the chat here. We've got Emmett, Gidget, Emmett. I think Emmett has come out as the top favorite guess. Let's have a look. What have we got? Emmett! Well done. Good work there. So was there someone within that? How did you guys go? Did you agree with those? Do you agree with those? That's the first question. That's a really good question. Do you agree with those? Who came in? Pixie had Shaggy, Anger, and Emmett. So Pixie did very well in that. Shaggy, Anger. Anyone else have that? I think Pixie might be... Yeah, Pixie. I think Pixie took it out. Well done, Pixie. I think you got the most guesses correct within that. So very cool game. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining this. So where are we at? We are down there. Okay, all right. So now, hey, comment in and say, what do you think? Did you agree with that? I got 2. Riley got 2. Pixie got 3. Shot Pixie. Sharissa and Olivia only got 2. Comment and let us know if you agree with those. Who do you think would be, actually, what would your vote be? And while we're doing that, it's story time. It's time for the awesome story. And this week, we've got Stu and Lids teaming up together to bring us the super story. 2 of the team teaming up, connecting, and making the story. So they're here to share with you. What I want you to do while we're listening to the story is I want you guys to think about that passive and aggressive. We've got 3 characters, and I wonder if you can work out which characters are passive and which is more aggressive when it comes to dealing with conflict. All right, so while the story's going, hey, you guys can comment in and tell us about that. But let's go and listen to the story. Oh, that's not the story. That's Extra Berry Game.
Lived a mouse, a tiger, and an owl. The animals were very lucky. They had houses, litter boxes, and even a well to collect water from. It truly was a wonderful place to live. One morning, Tiger woke up and heard the crackling of trees burning and smelt the stench of smoke. The forest was on fire. "It's okay," thought Tiger. "I know exactly what to do." He ran outside towards the fire, past his letterbox, past the well, and stood facing the flames. Tiger glared at the fire, bristled his fur, and shook his paw at it. But the fire kept burning. Then Tiger shouted, "Fire! Stop doing that now! You're such a stupid, idiot, dumb fire to think you can affect me." He kept calling the fire names, but the fire kept burning. Then Tiger got really mad. His claws came out and he swiped at the fire and he roared and roared. But the fire kept on burning and burnt his house down. Mouse woke up to the sound of Tiger roaring. He also heard the crackling of trees burning and smelt the stench of smoke. Mouse realized the forest was on fire. "It's okay," thought Mouse. Mouse stayed inside and hid, thinking if he ignored the fire, it would go away. But the fire kept burning. So Mouse ran away from the fire, past his letterbox, past the well, and straight into a deep, dark cave, avoiding the fire completely. There he curled up trembling. "I'll be safe in here," thought Mouse. "When the fire passes, I can go home." A few hours later, Mouse couldn't hear the sound of crackling, burning trees anymore. So he decided to see if the fire had gone. It had! But his house was nowhere to be seen. All he found was a pile of ashes where his home and letterbox used to be. Mouse joined Tiger, who was standing by the well. Tiger said, "I glared, I roared, I told the fire to stop, but it just kept burning." Mouse said, I ignored the fire and thought it would leave my stuff alone, but it just kept burning." Looking around at the devastation caused by the fire, a house caught Mouse and Tiger's eye. A house that hadn't been touched by the fire. Recognizing that it was Owl's house, they ran to it, hoping to find out how this could be. "How come your house survived the fire?" Owl replied calmly, "I woke up and heard the trees crackling. I heard Tiger roaring at the fire and I saw Mouse run away from it. I saw flames coming closer, so I flew out to assess the situation. I stood my ground, but it kept on burning. Then I thought about what I could do. I remembered the well. I went to the well, drew some water and poured it all over my house. When the fire came, the flames left my wet house alone." Tiger and Mouse realized that if they'd taken the time to respond instead of reacting, their houses could have still been standing too.
Awesome. Well, that was a very, very cool story from Stu and Liz teaming up there, telling the story, doing the voices and doing the acting. There was some crazy stuff going on out in that forest. I really liked the fire. The fire was very cool. But what I asked you guys was to tell me who you think was the aggressive character and who was the passive character in this story. So let's have a look. We've got a bunch of answers coming through. We had Pixie said, well, let's look at Tiger first. Let's have a look at what do we think Tiger was. We had, a bunch of you guys had said, Lecrae said Tiger is aggressive. I keep losing the comments because it's jumping up and down. All right, Pump. Oh, wait, that's not Tiger. Pixie said Tiger is aggressive. Yeah, I think that's probably a good answer. I think Tiger was definitely aggressive. He was really angry and loud and getting in there, and he kind of like launched at the fire and he took that fire on head on. But probably not the wisest way to deal with that. And then we had what about Mouse? Okay, what about Mouse? We've got Pump just said poor Mouse. Poor little mouse. I know, I feel sorry for that little mouse as well. But poor Tiger as well. He lost his house as well. So then we had Angela said the mouse is passive. Pump said the mouse was passive as well. And let's have a look. Yeah, Hi also said the mouse was passive. Yeah, I think it's Tiger, like a little mouse, a little meek mouse. Definitely a passive character. Like tended to try and ignore, try and run away and move away from the conflict and kind of just pretend there wasn't conflict there. And that's not the wisest way either, because the fire still came and took and made a mess of his house, so that's good. But there's a question. What was Owl? What was Owl in that? Owl kind of, maybe was listening to a catchphrase and engage without rage. So what was Owl though? What does that mean? That's a really good question. We're going to jump back. We're going to go check in with Extra Bear and see what he thought of the story. I just think we need to just keep on including him, even though he doesn't seem like he wants to be included today. But we'll go in. Extra Bear, are you awake yet? Are you joining? He's still asleep. What did you think of the story? You can't hear me. He looks like he's hiding. He's hiding. Oh, he's dreaming. He must be dreaming. And he's fighting. I think he's dreaming. He might be dreaming about the story or whatever dream he's having. There's some passiveness and some aggressiveness going in there. I think. And now he's scurrying like a little mouse, or he's playing a tiny piano. I don't know what this dream is. He's dreaming. He's having a dream about. Maybe he's dreaming about the story. I don't know what he's doing in there. But anyway, that was Extra Bear again. He's not giving us much today. But, alright, it's now time for us to go and hear from Lydia and go and check in with her, because she's got some stuff to share with us about finding balance in our response to conflict. And she's really clever. She's a really clever person, and I think she's probably got something to share with us about Owl as well, and telling us how Owl responds to conflict. So let's go and check out with Lydia, and see what she's got to share with us this morning.
Oh, hey guys! Did you know that it's so not fun when you're in a conflict with someone? But we can make it even worse sometimes when we don't try to work through it. And we've learned today that being passive isn't the most helpful way, and neither is being aggressive. So what is the most helpful way? How are we supposed to deal with conflict? Well, come with me and I'm going to show you something. Let's check out our reaction scales. Come on! Surfing! So, let's say an example. Maybe you're in an argument with someone. if you usually react passively, you're probably gonna want to run away from that conversation. I have a tendency to do that. You might start feeling shaky or really scared and unsure of yourself, and then you might get really flustered, and then you basically just want the whole thing to go away. But if you avoid the conflict completely, it doesn't make anything better. It gets worse. You start feeling more hurt and more angry, and then the whole thing ends up getting into this big mess because you can't stop thinking about it, and then it becomes this big mess. That's what happens when you be passive in conflict. On the other end of the scale are those of you who might tend to react aggressively. You might feel this like burning hot sensation inside that just wants to erupt out, or you might feel like yelling or hitting or stomping, but you want to battle it out to make sure that you are heard. And the thing is, like, when you do this, it only makes things worse, and it can quickly turn into this big mess. What? So what are we supposed to do? If we're aggressive, it's not helpful. If we're passive, it's not helpful either. So where are we supposed to go? Wait, what about the middle? In the middle we have what is called balance. It's that middle ground between being passive and being aggressive. In a conflict, sometimes it's helpful to just take some time to yourself before responding, but other times it can be helpful to deal with it straight away. We call this balancing act assertive. But what does this mean? Someone who is assertive stays calm when they get into a disagreement. They engage with the conflict, saying how they feel, but they also respectfully listen to the other person's perspective without losing their temper. I wonder if you guys have worked out what Al's reaction was to the fire. He stayed calm and stood his ground. He didn't lose his temper, he didn't run away, and he ended up saving his house from the fire. He was assertive. How cool is that? What a cool owl. In conflict, when we choose to engage without rage, we stay calm but firm. We consider and respect other people. We use our own words to talk things through, and we use our brain to think about where to next. When we start believing that our opinions count and what we have to say matters, we will become more confident with how we approach conflict. An assertive person feels calm, connected to their body, and in control of their thoughts and emotions when they're responding to a conflict. Now, I know you guys can do this. I believe in you so much, but we're not going to get it right every single time, right? Because none of us are perfect. But wherever your tendency is, maybe you tend to be more aggressive in conflict, maybe you tend to be more passive, wherever you are, our aim is to be more balanced. So remember, engage without rage. You guys got this? Whoa! Be balanced.
Nice. So yeah, I can see a lot of comments coming through there now. People go, "Oh, Al, he was. Was it he or a she? Al was assertive." That's awesome. So Al was assertive. Al chose to respond rather than react and engage without the rage. And that's a really cool tool for us to help us when we are in a disagreement, in an argument, or in the middle of conflict. Now, I wonder if you guys have any other tips. It'd be cool if you can comment in and share any ways that you know that's helpful to resolve conflict, that you find has worked, where you don't make it just something that you do that means that you don't make a big mess and you don't hurt people and it doesn't break relationships and things like that. What are ways and good tips that you have found that help to resolve an argument or resolve conflict? So guys, comment in there and we'll come back and check in with those. And now what it's time for is, we always like to ask a question. Blello Sundays, it's our Sunday morning, it's our Sunday church, kids thing like that, online, whatever you like to do on Sunday mornings or you would be doing when church is open, this is kind of what this is for. And what we like to do is ask the question is, what does God think about our value? It's a really good question to ask because he knows so much and he has the Bible which also shares with us and tell us what he thinks. Now each week we have a guest speaker who comes and shares with us, and this week is John from Hamilton City, let me get this right, Bible Church, and he's the children's pastor there. He's a really cool guy. He's going to share with us this morning and tell us what God thinks about resolving conflict. So let's go and check in and hear from him.
Kia ora everyone, kei te pēa koe, how are you today? I'm good. It's so cool to see you guys. When it comes to responding to conflict, there are different ways that different people can react to different conflicts. You guys know what I'm saying? Where in the Bible does it tell us how to respond to these conflicts? What do we do? Well, I've got an answer for you. James chapter 1 verse 19 says, "My dear brothers and sisters," that's us, "take note of this. Everyone must be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." Now, James was writing to Christians all over the place, and it's thought that the James that wrote the book was actually the brother of Jesus, and he would have seen first-hand experience of how Jesus lived, how he taught, how he responded to conflict. So the passage talks about how we need to position ourselves when we're in an argument, when we're in conflicts. So it says, be quick to listen. Now what does that mean? It means we need to stay in the conversation, be there, don't run away, and listen to what the other person is saying. Try and stand in their shoes and see what they're thinking. Then it goes on to say we need to be slow to speak. Now what does that mean? It means we should stop. We need to stop before we talk. We need to think what we're going to say. Otherwise we might say things that we don't really mean and we might regret it later. And the last one, we need to be slow to become angry. Now that means we don't want to be raging out going "Bah!" Big explosion of anger and words being said that they shouldn't, and it never ends well. Never ends well. So we need to be calm in that. Now when we're in an argument with someone, if we take the time to listen to the other person's point of view, if we stay engaged, we stay there, and we keep ourselves from exploding with rage, then, just then, we'll probably be able to work something out. We'll work it out without it becoming too messy. Pretty helpful things to remember if you guys are in a conflict. So, ka kite.
Very cool. Thanks, John. That was an awesome message to share there, and that's some solid wisdom coming from the Bible of how we can face things in life, even conflict. Although it doesn't always look like that. Sometimes it can look like this. But anyway, so that was a great reminder to engage without rage. And that book of James is in the Bible, and it's a really great book with lots of great advice like the passage we just heard. So you can check that out and read that. Alright, so I asked you guys, what are some tips that you have for resolving arguments, for dealing with conflict? And so we'll jump back onto the chat here and take a look at those. Now we had a lot of comments coming in here. We've got Lecrae saying walk away. Now that is a really good, because Pump also asked a question about, is walk away passive or assertive? Now, what I want to say on commenting on that is walking away can be good for a time. Sometimes, with taking a deep breath, walking away can be something that you can use as a tool to calm yourself down so you don't engage with the rage, so let the rage off. But what you need to remember is that you need to come back to the conflict at one point when you're calm, and so that you can then be assertive and you can engage, because that conflict isn't going to be resolved. If you're always walking away and you're always running away, then you're never going to resolve the conflict. So you need to have some communication. So walking away is good. It can be good to begin with and as a start, just like taking a deep breath or calming yourself, but also you need to come back to the conflict at some point when everyone's calmed down. Okay, so that's a good thing. So, but it is a passive type of thing to do. All right, so then Angela said, wait for calm and talk through. Yeah, very cool. That is a great thing. Pixie said, take a deep breath before I talk back. That's a great tip for everyone. I try to bring the problem up early before it builds into a big fight. Yeah, that's a good way. That's a good thing to do so that it doesn't escalate. You can address the issue and address the argument early on, but remembering to engage without the rage, so that then things don't get too messy there. Everyone stays calm and everyone can talk it through. Awesome, guys. Those are some great tips, and we now have got Nikki who's going to be sharing with us some more tips on what we can do when we come into conflict and we have those arguments. So let's go check in with her.
Well, Kyle, we have learned a lot today. We've learned how to identify how we tend to react to conflict, and we've seen how being the extreme of passive or aggressive isn't helpful, and we've discovered that having a good balance of both, being assertive and being passive, is the most helpful way to navigate conflict. I wonder if it's changed the way that you think about disagreements. Maybe you even feel a little bit more confident about how you can respond the next time you face a conflict with someone. I would love to know if you've learned something today. Write in the comments in chat about one thing that has stood out to you today as to how we've been learning about how to respond to conflict. And you might be sitting there thinking, Cool! I want to be more assertive. But how? Well, next time Mum asks you to turn off the TV, instead of raging at her, you could just take a deep breath and ask really politely if you can finish your episode. Or, when someone has a different opinion from you, instead of keeping your thoughts to yourself, you could just respectfully tell them what you think about the subject, and even ask for understanding as to how they view it. Sometimes a passive person does need a bit of time out before talking through the problem, and that's okay, but remember to engage after you've taken that moment. And sometimes an aggressive person needs to have their say, which isn't a bad thing, but doing it without a whole bunch of rage behind it is the most important and helpful way to respond to conflict. So as you go about your week, and maybe if some conflict pops up, I encourage you to remember our catchphrase: engage without rage. Engage without rage. Let's pray. Dear God, I pray that if we come into conflict with anyone, you help us to know what's respectful and what the right thing to do is. I pray that you help us to engage without rage, but to politely see what we can do to continue our friendship with others. Amen. Back to you, Kyle.
Excellent, thank you, Nikki. That was really cool. So Nikki asked you guys to comment in and tell us what has stood out to you, because she shared a lot of great tips, and we've shared some really cool tips and ideas for you guys this morning, and it's really awesome to see you in there commenting and sharing with us what you've learned. Pump said that they've learned about being assertive. Kayla learnt that being assertive, what being assertive is, and learnt the word aggressive. That is really cool. You learnt a couple of new things there, new words especially, which is really awesome. Angela said to observe first, like the owl. That is a really cool little tip there. Pixie said, yeah, how to be assertive and not aggressive. So that is really, those are some awesome tips. And hey, if you don't remember those, if you forget all of those different tips and like everything else that's been happening, because there's a lot of information to take in there, just remember our catchphrase, which is really simple: engage without rage. Whenever it comes to any kind of disagreement or argument that you have, you can engage without the rage, and that will keep you on the balance between aggressive and passive and keep you near the middle, which is being assertive. Engage without the rage. Do it one more time with me, guys. Engage without the rage. Awesome. That is really, really cool. You guys have been awesome. It's been so cool having you commenting, sharing, telling us what your tips and ideas are, and asking questions and answering those. And so that's where we're heading. We're basically at the end of this morning's Blello Sundays. Blello Sundays. That's what it is. That's what I'm doing. But next week, I just want to say that things might look a little bit different as things are shifting and changing within New Zealand, and lockdowns and things are coming and shifting and changing. There is opportunity for us to head back into the studio, so that means that some of the team might be still at home doing videos and doing recording and things and appearing, and others of us might be in the studio, which looks really cool. If you haven't been here and haven't seen it because you've just joined us during lockdown, that's a really cool thing. So things might look a little bit different next week. We'll have some new things coming in, but we'll see how that goes. But anyway, whatever happens, we will be back here at 10 a.m. next Sunday to join and hang out with you guys live. Awesome, super cool, and that's it. That's really it. There's other links if you want to check us out during the week. There's links below that you can go and find out more things and be entertained with that. But it has been awesome hanging out with you. Super, super cool. Love chatting with you. Loved hearing the comments. And thanks, Sharisa. Sharisa said, thanks, team. You are doing an amazing job. Thanks. Oh, thank you for that, Sharisa. Really appreciate that. Blello, you are so cool. Thank you, Pixie. Last comment. And Pump said there's some good tips in there. They're like good tips from Pump. Good tips. Awesome. So thanks, guys. I'm going to finish it off there. You're not going to be seeing any more with me, and I'm going to leave you with Extra Bear. Now, I'm sorry if all he does is sleep. He might just be sleeping that whole time, but we'll finish out with Extra Bear and see what he's doing. I don't know what was up with him this morning. I apologize on his behalf. He was sleeping. He's still got his picture up. He still thinks that we were fooled, but we're not. You tell Extra Bear, we were not fooled. Okay, all right, we'll leave it there. We'll catch you later. That's all from me. I'll leave you with Extra Bear. We'll see you guys. Hey, okay, awesome. Have a great week. Have an awesome time. Have a great rest of your Sunday. We'll see you next week, 10 a.m. Tell your friends. Share it around. Tell other people if you think this is cool and what we're doing. Let everyone else know, and so we can get more people here hanging out and having fun with us on a Sunday morning. All right. We'll catch you later. Bye, guys.
Oh,